What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are here
Look
and
at
not a
you.
minute
Look at you.
too late. Yes, I no show for us tomorrow. It's John and Pemba and Eric Romoff, and I've got the Sirius XM show off as well because it's Halloween. So today I'm wearing my outfit. Howard, where's yours, brother?
This is me. I'm going as a guy whose back is to the wall in the World Series. You know what? Actually, no. Like I don't know if you can actually see this on the sweatshirt, but like I watched the World Series game last night and I fell asleep on the couch and I woke up. I don't even know what time to two cats on me and three dogs laying on top. Like I was in the ultimate animal pile last night, so I am covered in hair. So I guess that's my costume, right?
I like it, dude. We're both going as hairy monsters for Halloween, dude. It's perfect. Thank you, everybody, for popping in. We see you guys in the chat, and today is your day. Because yesterday, we got to keep people in line, smack them around, only start sit questions in the chat on Tuesday. But on Wednesday, you can ask anything you want. You can ask waiver questions, start sits, trades. You can talk about Halloween. I want to know what you guys are being in the chat. Let me know. We can talk favorite candy, whatever you guys want to talk about. Today is your day. We will get to Thursday night football because we always talk about that. We'll do a couple underdog picks because we always talk about that. If there's any must-start matchups or must-sit matchups, we'll make sure to lay those on you. But today is for you guys. So why don't we, real quick, Howard, did you add anybody off waivers? We talked a lot of names yesterday. Very thin at running back. There were some names for wide receiver. And then, tight end was kind of clean up as well. So did you add anybody?
So, you know what? I mean, some funny stuff based off of what we were talking about. And if you guys tune into the Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio show that Coop and I are on regularly, Monday through Friday, while Jim Bowden is on assignment here. Coop is usually on Thursdays and Fridays, but get him from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And all right. So, yeah, I listen, I added Xavier Hutchinson. Easy, Sully. Don't scare me like that. Come on. Don't scare
The
me.
meter was running low.
Don't
So
scare
go on.
me. Xavier Hutchinson, Mason Tipton, Darius Slayton, just a couple of pieces from the wide receiver core because I'm not sure if DK Metcalf is going to be back this week, and I'm not sure about the status of a couple of other wide receivers. So I grabbed some depth there. My sleeper tight end this week for streaming purposes, if you're in a league that people are hoarding the top tight ends there, I grabbed Noah Fant. I think he's in an absolute fantastic spot here, especially if DK Metcalf doesn't play, right? If DK's out and then you've got Lockett and Jackson Smith and Najigba, I think Noah Fant could end up with some red zone looks. So I'm looking over at that spot. But here you go. Here's the big one. In an IDP league, I needed a defensive back, right? Because Minka Fitzpatrick is on a bye this week.
Where's he going? Where is he
Oh,
going?
you know where I went
Alontae
here.
Taylor? No, who is it?
Yeah, listen, if you're going to be an a-hole 1 week and then everybody's going to let you off the hook, if you don't come down with a pick six the following game, there is no justice in this world. So I took Tyreek Stevenson from the Bears.
Okay.
Right? I mean, who's he going up against there? I mean, it's definitely, it's got interception potential going up against the Giants. Not the Giants, in the who are the Bears playing this week? It's
Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona, right? Kyler Murray. So, I mean, there it was. I was like, all right, I'm just going to do that because this dude better ball out like a madman this week. He better be everywhere in that secondary.
Flying around.
Right? Exactly.
Sitting in the front. He was definitely sitting in the front during film. Actually, he was probably hiding in the back during film, but for every other coach's meeting, he's going to be sitting in the front
row. So, absolutely.
Front row. Yeah, I added Mason Tipton in a deep league as well. Cedric Tillman was floating around in a league, so I grabbed him. In the league where I'm 8-0, I quietly snuck Blake Corum onto my bench just to I don't even have Kyron Williams, but I'm just looking at the snap percentage, 86% for Kyron Williams. We talked about it yesterday. If he goes down, we know Sean McVay, next man up. That guy plays a ton. So, just kind of batten down the hatches over there, right? Just seeing it. Because my team's already very good. Even losing Shaheed and Godwin on that team, I would have had tough questions anyway, because it was like I had Ladd McConkey, I had Josh Downs. Those are the guys I put in instead. worked out okay. So we're doing all right over there. So yeah,
Who did you say before Josh Downs?
was that?
Who did you say before Josh Downs?
Oh, Lad McConkey.
Oh, just
McConkey,
his last name.
the lad. So he's locked in for me moving forward.
Now it's McConky Tonk Badonkadonk.
Donk. That's right,
Donk.
dude. Let's hit the chat real quick. Jerry, what's happening? Yeah, it is a beautiful day here in Massachusetts. My dog won't even come inside. She came inside, drank all of her water at once, and went right back outside. I think she knows that winter's coming. We only got so many of these days left. Hopefully, it's nice out tomorrow for all the kiddos because it's like when I was a kid, sometimes it'd be warm here in New England. Sometimes you'd be sloshing through the snow, man. So hopefully it'll be nice. What up, Rex? Fatty McFats, dude. The whole gang. First question, Howard. Are you ready? Eric wants to know. Sup, guys? What are we doing with Anthony Richardson? Drop or stash in case Flacco were to go down or they turn back to him? A difficult question.
So it is a good question. It really is, because it really depends on the depth of your league, who the quarterbacks are sitting on your roster, what your bench space looks like. Because, we talked about this yesterday with the benching of Anthony Richardson. What the coaches were basically saying was, we want to start from scratch with Anthony Richardson. We want to pull him back, let him get focused, let him stay healthy, let him get the pressure off of him, let him watch Flacco. Because I'll tell you what, watching Flacco from the bench holding a clipboard is definitely going to help you see different things about being a legitimate pocket passer. We're not telling you, Anthony Richardson, to become a pocket passer, but you have to add that element to your game. Look at what Lamar Jackson has done this season and the season before that. You do have that potential. We want to harness that and make that happen. So I think once the Colts are out of it, mathematically from the playoffs, then I think they put Anthony Richardson back in and see what they've got here. So if you have the ability to stash him, I would, right? Especially if people are hoarding quarterbacks on your roster, in your league. But I mean, if you're looking at your waivers right now and you see Darnold and Stafford and Russell Wilson, if all these guys are sitting on your waiver wire right now, then I do think you're okay to drop them, because I think very few people are really looking to pick them up and stash them.
Yeah, such a good point on the pocket passing business. You'll notice Lamar Jackson is doing it. Josh Allen's been saying for 2 years that he knows that it's coming and that he has to do it. And Lamar Jackson is still on pace for over 100 carries. Josh Allen technically is not. He's on pace for just over 90, but that's significant because I went back and looked, Howard, after the age of 28, where Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen by the end of this season, or basically the beginning of the offseason, will both be 28. Over the age of 28, there's only been 2 quarterbacks to run the ball over 100 times in the season. You had Michael Vick basically coming out of jail and Cam Newton continuing to run the ball 100 times. And you saw what happened with Cam Newton. He ran the ball 100 times with the Patriots. By the time he was 32, 33, his shoulder was shot. So we've seen guys like Russell Wilson transition from a guy that runs 100 times to a guy that plays more pocket ball, who turns from a rushing QB into a mobile QB. And that's what you need to do. There's, you can still run as a mobile QB, but there's a difference between a rushing QB and mobile QB. And Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are doing a good job of doing that. Hopefully, Anthony Richardson can still be a rushing QB, but you got to develop those passing aspects. So still hanging on, but I don't know if you have to drop him. He's definitely probably your most droppable player.
Yeah.
Sean wants to know, start Deontay Johnson, Raheem Mostert, or TJ Hawkinson first game back. And we're going to talk about this Thursday night game. But before you answer that question, what's your trust level on TJ Hawkinstein, TJ Frankenstein on Halloween coming up this week?
I mean, I think it's fine to use him. I really do. I look at this situation here, going up against the Indianapolis Colts. It's Sunday Night Football. I think he's been back at practice enough to, legitimately have a rapport with Sam Darnold. And I think that it's a perfectly fine situation, right? Colts are giving up like the 4th most fantasy points per game to the tight end position. They definitely have struggled, against that. Jefferson and Addison are obviously going to get the bulk of the looks, but I do think Hawkinson will be involved. As far as this question goes, I think I'm leaning on Raheem Mostert, actually. Going up against the Bills, who have a very sketchy run defense. And I know he's sharing that workload with Devon Achane, but look at what Achane's production was last week and the number of touches that he got. And Raheem Mostert still ended up with 2 touchdowns. Like, this is the Miami offense that we've kind of been wanting to see, or that we saw flashes of last year before Tua got hurt. And now what we're getting here with a healthy Tua, this is what that offense brings to the table. So I think it's going to be, this is a crucial, crucial game against the Bills. And so I want that running game in there. I think Mike McDaniel's going to run both Mostert and HM pretty hard this week.
I mean, the guy scored 20 touchdowns last year, and then right when Tua gets back, he scores 2.
20 touchdowns? Who does he think he is? David Montgomery?
Right. Who thinks he is? Priest Holmes? I mean, I'll take it, dude. 20 touchdowns, man. 2 last week. I do have him a lot higher in my standard rankings than PPR naturally, but
yeah, of course.
He's pretty high in both of them. Brian wants to know, he's just saying thanks and that we rock. So that's awesome. That's always my favorite kind of questions. One where I don't have to do any thinking.
You guys.
Just nice things about us. All right.
Easy,
what's up?
Easy.
Here we go. CG wants to know PPR flex on them. Addison, Xavier Worthy, Eckler, or the hot name Cedric Tillman.
I think I go Addison here because I don't love the matchup for the Browns this week. I really don't. Charger secondary is one of the better in the league, and as hype as we were about Jameis Winston and Browns taking over, you do have to understand it's still Jameis Winston and they're still the Browns. So you do have to kind of pull back from some of that enthusiasm. I just don't think Eckler gets enough work in order to be like to really pop. And the Giants defense is actually pretty good, even though Najee tore him up a little bit. Addison, I just think he's got the floor, and this matchup against the Colts is definitely going to be a softer matchup. And I think that Minnesota wants to really kind of take off in this one here and show, because they crap the bed.
I can see them easing Hawkinson back. And plus it'll be a little rusty. It's like nobody shows up after a year of not working, right? And just all of a sudden being awesome. Could be a 10-man game. Big question today revolves around Jalen Coker. All leagues are 1 PPR. Well, Brex, get the question in there, and we will answer that for you. As of now, given the names you've supplied us, I would start Coker. One, Steve Bartman or Austin Capobianco. That's the guy's name that interfered with that home run ball.
Dude, I got to tell you something, right? Just quick baseball talk here. Embarrassed to be a Yankees fan. After watching what that a-hole and the dude next to him did, you could have broken Mookie Betts' hand. And then really, if that had happened, can you imagine if they had broken Mookie Betts' hand or sprained his wrist or anything like that doing what they did? If I'm the Yankees, I forfeit the World Series because our fan base are a bunch of a-holes.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was would have been like Mighty Ducks too, when they broke Adam Banks' wrist.
There you go. Great pull.
Al wants to know, how are you feeling about Eli Moore, Jalen McMillan, or Jalen Coker?
So I'm probably going to lean a little bit more on McMillan. I think that he's, McMillan, there were 2 throws that should have been touchdowns to McMillan in this game this past week. One of them got picked off at the tail end of the game. I think they need to lean a little bit more on McMillan and utilize him, especially if Sterling Shepard's a little bit banged up. You're going up against the Chiefs on Monday Night Football, and the Chiefs have a fantastic defense. You're going to have to be throwing in this one because it's almost impossible to run on them, So I think they lean a little bit more on McMillan here to make that happen. I do like Jalen Coker. I do. But let's face it, people. We're all getting hyped about Jalen Coker. He still has Bryce Young throwing him the football, and the Carolina Panthers are still an absolute disaster. So you can get hype and think that that's great, but if you think that Coker is going to be better than established players, well, then you're really swinging for the fences and slightly delusional.
Yeah, and I want to see a Browns game where maybe they have a little more normal game script because right now, these guys are all when everyone's getting targets, it's all fun and games, right? When they drop back and throw 50 times, 40 times, and everyone's getting 5, 6, 7, 8, right? There's no one complaining. What happens when they throw 25 times or 30 times? And now a 25% target share is like 5 or 6 targets, and the 15% target share is like 4. Like I want to see a game like that where Cedric Tillman is getting 6 targets and everyone else is getting 2 or 3. And we haven't seen it yet. So it's like you can't complain about any of them yet. We can't really sort it out yet. So I'm cautiously optimistic with those guys, but like this game, we could see them come out. And would you be shocked if the target leaders in this next game were Njoku and Jerry Jeudy? I would not be shocked.
I would not be shocked either.
Right.
I would definitely not be shocked.
Eric, half PPR, need a flex on him. Mostert, Deontay Johnson, Parker Washington, Bigsby, or Schultz.
Eric, how did it get so bad for you?
I don't know, man. You got everybody who's just kind of just okay.
I mean, yeah, for me, I'll go with Mostert here. Especially it's half point PPR. I'll go with Mostert in the running game there. Deontay, we need to see what happens with him and Zay Flowers and how many targets that we're looking at. Parker Washington, good upside,
right?
Good potential, especially. But is Brian Thomas healthy? Is Gabe Davis's shoulder okay? Because if those two guys are in, Parker Washington's still coming in only as the third wide receiver. And so you need to see what happens there. I also hear ETN might be back. So that's going to actually hinder Bigsby. As good as Bigsby's been, again, Doug Peterson says that ETN is his guy. Came out the other day and reiterated that once ETN is healthy, he's back on that field. So that's where I'm at. And then Dalton Schultz, I mean, you said it yesterday here. I mean, go ahead, Coop. Go run down Dalton Schultz.
This is the one game you can start Dalton Schultz.
What?
You know what I mean? It's the one game. I wouldn't start him over Mostert, but you have exactly one game to start him, because with Dalton Schultz, right? The problem was never really Stephon Diggs. That was just piling on top of everything. Last year, Dalton Schultz, when Nico Collins and Tank Dell were both healthy, in those games when they were both healthy, Schultz was only getting 4.2 targets per game, which is in the games where one of them missed, either one of them, he was getting 7 targets a game. And that's why there were a lot of games that those guys missed. Tank Dell missed the entire end of the season with the high ankle sprain, basically broken leg. And Nico Collins missed a bunch of games throughout because that's what Nico Collins does. And in those games, Schultz was good. And that's kind of created the illusion when you looked at his season-long stats that this was sustainable, but it was basically only happening when guys are missing. For this last week, this 1 week here, Dalton Schultz is an option, right? So actually, why don't we take one quick moment here to maybe do some underdog picks, Howard?
Ooh.
Because might lead right into my thoughts here. So
let's have it. Mm-hmm.
I just gave the thoughts on Dalton Schultz, essentially that you can only utilize this guy when 2 of the 3 wide receivers are out. And guess what? This week, we've got those conditions. Eric, if you're not going to start Dalton Schultz this week, you can drop him to waivers because Nico Collins is most likely back next week. This week, he's out. So I go over to Underdog and I poke around and see where they have the number set. They have him set at 4.5 receptions. I'm actually going to go higher for Dalton Schultz. I will have Dalton Schultz higher in my weekly rankings this one time. In the season-long rankings, I'm not moving him up because the wide receivers will be back. It will be Nico Collins and Tank Dell back once again. But for 1 week only, we can go with Dalton Schultz in plays like this, in your weekly rankings, in DFS. After that, I'm down with them.
Remind me to save the audio so we can play like that song "One Night Only" for Jukebox Monday for you there. One night only. All right. Well, there you go. All right. So I like that. Dalton Schultz, what, higher than 4.5 receptions?
5 receptions. That's what we're looking for. Okay. That shouldn't be that hard with the mishmash of wide receivers that are going to roll out there.
Well, let's pair it up with one of the mishmash of wide receivers that's out there right now. Xavier Hutchinson, okay, who played a 62% snap share. He's on the field regularly. Since Nico Collins went down, Hutchinson's been on the field a lot more regularly, and he's going to be that guy opposite Tank Dell, right? And so if I've got Tank Dell and Hutchinson, and then you're going to mix and match John Mechie or Robert Woods, I still see Hutchinson playing this significant role. Now, yes, the Jets corners are good, but I think Sauce is going to pay a lot more attention to Tank Dell. And Xavier Hutchinson, he's got rushing and receiving yards 19.5. Come on. Even if he goes 2 for 25, that's a win. So, I'm saying higher than 19.5 rushing plus receiving yards. It's also 19.5 receiving yards, but it's the same thing. Like, who gives a damn, right? So I might as well get some rushing yards out of there, and maybe they do like an end around with him, and he pads his totals. But I think that you have to kind of lean into this, and maybe the total is low because of the Jets secondary, but I feel like this. I think it's a mistake by Underdog.
Yes.
How about that? I think it's a mistake by Underdog. You're going off of numbers that you've seen from Hutchinson in the past couple of weeks, first 8 weeks of the season, and now you're kind of laying into it. So listen, guys, this QR code that's right below Sully over here, that one there, zap that QR code, sign up over there. Or if you don't want to zap the QR code, because that's how they get you, go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog and use the promo code alarm. You'll get like a bonus pick. You'll get a match on your deposit up to $1,000 in bonus cash, right? Underdog's ready to take care of you. Use the exclusive Fantasy Alarm promo code and take advantage of it. Dalton Schultz higher than 4.5 receptions. Xavier Hutchinson higher than 19.5 rushing and receiving yards. And then see what the gimme pick is that they give you. It'll probably be something stupid like
if you can get it in, if you can get your picks in today within the next 5 hours, it's one bucket for LeBron James. Over under 0.5.
Is it LeBron or is it Bronny? Who's got the bucket?
That wouldn't be a gimme if it was Bronny. It's LeBron. LeBron's number should be set at 23.5. They are giving you the discount down to 0.5. So if you put in your picks today, that's a free one. I bet they'll have another one for tomorrow for Thursday Night Football, but I'm just taking the free one while it's up.
It'll probably be like Aaron Rodgers, like half a yard, right? Half a passing yard or something like that.
For sure. So while we're on it, what are you currently seeing for a spread for this game? Because it was looking like the old trap game spread. Jets favored by 2. Is it still 2 or is it 1.5? Where are you at?
1.5 now. Jets are favored by 1.5. I mean, it comes down to who you think wins this game, flat out. Jets are going to have to stop Joe Mixon, right? And I think that's, I'm probably going to, I'm going to end up betting the Jets. I don't like betting my team, but I'm going to take the Jets to win this game.
Did you see the Joe Mixon line on Underdog where they have him?
Yeah. Like the rushing yard was like 80-something.
80. And his combined yards was like 111. I mean, I do have him ranked within my top 5, but I mean, 111. They're expecting this guy to just go ham.
They are, right? And so, I don't know, man. I mean, I kind of feel like, before, like here's the thing. It was Jets -2 before the Stephon Diggs news, right? I mean, granted, you saw the injury on Sunday and you were a little concerned about it, but overall, when I kind of look at what we've got with that, that whole thing, I personally think that the Jets can eke this one out. If it's going to be 1.5 because people are putting money on Houston +2, so be it.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. It's must win for the Jets too. It's at home. I mean, boy, if they lose this one, the world is coming crashing down. All right, let's get back into some questions here. Sean wants to know, Marvin Harrison Jr., he needs 2 wide receivers and 2 flex. So let's start with 2 wide receivers out of Marvin Harrison, Jaden Reed, and Josh Downs, and Jalen Waddle. Wow.
Okay, I mean, I'm going to
yeah.
Well, so here's the thing, right? If Jordan Love is playing, then I want to get Jaden Reed in there against Detroit. If it's Malik Willis, I'm a little bit more gun shy about that.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's Love, then I'm going with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Jaden Reed.
Yep.
Okay. If it's not, then I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr. and Josh Downs.
Because Flacco.
Yeah, I mean, Flacco, with the amount of throwing that he's going to do, and the fact that they have to pay attention to the run now because it's Jonathan Taylor. It's not Tyler Goodson or Trey Sermon.
Yeah.
So I think Downs is a good play here.
All right. So then he needs 2 flexes too. Would you start Downs over Bucky Irving, Tank Bigsby, and Rico Dowdle?
Well, why do I have to? If I'm starting 2 wide receivers and it's Marvin Harris. Oh, you're saying if it's Jordan Love.
You can, yeah. So if it's Jordan Love in there, would you start Josh Downs at the flex over those running backs? Like, would Downs be in the lineup regardless? Is kind of the question.
Downs is probably in the lineup regardless.
I think so too.
Okay.
So then
let's lock in Harrison and Downs as our wide receivers, and let's talk about the flex play. If it's Love, then yes to Jaden Reed. And then the question is it Waddle, McMillan, Irving, Bigsby, Dowdle? I'm probably going to lean Waddle.
Yeah, I might just start the 4 wide receivers. And if it's, I might just start the 4 wide receivers, even if it's Malik Willis. They because I don't know if I love Bucky Irving and Tank Bigsby, especially if ETN's back. Rico Dowdle coming back after being sick. I think I would just start the 4 wide receivers in full PPR. Yep. Yep. What is Alec Pierce with Flacco? He's the same thing he generally always is, which is a guy that scores either 0 points on 4 targets or he has a 70-yard touchdown. So best ball specialist. He is DJ Chark. That's basically what Alec Pierce is. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're just catching up to where we were supposed to be in the start. With Frymuth on bye this week, which tight end would you pick up? Johnny Smith, Taysom Hill, Noah Fant, Will Disley, Mike Gesicki.
Well, you know I'm on Noah Fant this week.
Yeah. I think Noah Fant, I think I have the 2 highest ranked guys I have are Noah Fant and Johnny Smith. And I think Noah Fant, if DK Metcalf is out, then go Fant. Is there any chance Metcalf plays?
There is a chance that Metcalf plays.
If Metcalf plays, Johnny Smith has, so the role for Johnny Smith is this, right? Picture the 49ers, where you typically have 2 wide receivers that are great, a tight end, and a pass catching back in Christian McCaffrey. That's what George Kittle has been, and George Kittle's been good in that role. The Dolphins run the same offense. The difference being Johnny Smith is not an every down player because they use Durham Smythe for blocking plays. So Kittle plays 95% of the snaps. Johnny plays like 50 or 60%. So you're basically getting a discounted version of Kittle, a guy that can break off big chunk plays, but he's not playing the whole game. To me, that's honestly better than a lot of these guys that are like the 3rd, 4th, or 5th target on their team because they use the fullback so much. There is no wide receiver 3. So Jonnu is like a very boring but safe play, whereas Fant has a little more upside. But I don't mind Jonnu.
You're gonna hate me.
What?
If Metcalf plays and I pivot off of Fant,
no,
I'm doing it.
Not Taysom.
I'm doing it. Listen, they say that maybe Derek Carr is back. Okay, and if he's back, I don't know what his oblique's going to be like, and we know that they already use packages with Taysom Hill. It's Carolina. That's the thing. Don't scare me. But it's Carolina, dude. It's Carolina. If there's a time, listen, I gotta like straighten out my ass pillow here. Oh no,
get you right off your ass.
Listen, I'm just saying, if there were ever a time to take Taysom Hill for a spin, this is the time. I hate it, but listen, again, you're talking about, banged up wide receivers, right? Because Bub Means is hurt now. And sure, Olave's there. But, I mean, if you're talking about, like, if Haener is the quarterback because Carr's not ready or Carr is, taking some hits or something like that because the offensive line isn't very good, I'm just saying it right now. I am going to have at least one DFS lineup that uses Taysom Hill as my tight end for a GPP tournament, and I'm going to have a share of it. So, Sean?
It's fine for a high-risk, high-reward play. Just be warned. That
the floor is lava.
The floor is lava. This guy scores 0.1, 0.2 points all the time when he basically gets a couple carries and he gets stuff. So.
To tight end, though. Come on. If
Juwan Johnson.
If you're so desperate at tight end, you of all people. But wait. Don't even, because if you're Mr. I'm swinging for the fences and I like the upside plays all the time and I'm all about having fun, why in the world would you mire yourself with stop trying to scare me, a garbage tight end, right, who may or may not do something? I mean, come on, Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith rocks.
Or Noah Fant. What? Don't you? Do you just hate
They're
fun?
highly athletic specimens,
You're
John
a
Smith
hypocrite.
and Noah Fant. They can easily score 60-yard touchdowns.
You're a
Taysom
hypocrite.
Hill is a 34-year-old gadget fullback with a myriad of chest injuries this
All right.
season.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to give you Jonnu Smith and I'm
Noah
going to
Fant.
give you Noah Fant. I'm going to give them both to you. If either one of them outscores Taysom Hill, how about a pie bet?
In what scoring? What scoring is Sean have? Sean, tell us what your scoring is.
If it's, I don't give a crap, man. PPR, whatever you want to do.
PPR.
Whatever you want to
That's what I
do.
want.
You want to do PPR?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Pie bet.
Pie bet.
Oh, Taysom Hill pie bet is my worst nightmare.
Okay.
It's the worst nightmare. All right. Loser gets hit in the face of the pie.
2 tight end whispers with a tight end pie bet that involves the disgusting Taysom
I'm
Hill.
taking Taysom Hill. It's evil. It's evil. Don't you put that evil on me. All right. It's on. Here we go. Here we go. Mile High Luke getting
Market chat. Market. Come on.
Mile High Luke has his Raphael Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles onesie on, so he's got the spirit. Atta boy. Adam Brunch. What's up, Brunch? Brunch wants to know 12-team, 10-man bench. So this is one of them deep boys. Long boy. Choose which 2 guys to start. Tight end in a flex spot. Have Tucker Kraft, Kincaid, Ertz. Then Romeo. Not going to start Gabe Davis. So does he start 2 tight end set here, or does he go with Romeo Dubs as one?
I'm going with Kincaid and Dubs here.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too.
Yep.
Greg, what up, dude? Coop Horny. I get it. Jaden Reed and Wright. Right. Like
Jalen Wright? The Wright brothers?
I don't know. Gonna have to
Mr. Wright?
Get back to us on that, Fetty. I have both Flowers and Deontay. Nobody so far in my league would take Deontay off me. Good. I guess this is fine news. Yeah, Sean's right. Hit that like button. Is that solely the one with the buttons and the ass for easy poop accents? It's actually just a sweatshirt. I'm not even sure if my wife bought me pants. I might just be walking around wearing this sweatshirt, but whatever.
If I could see that comment, whatever it was, I would say that's amazing, but I can't see that comment.
Adi Coop wants to know. That's right. You're still mentally blocking Greg after his comments yesterday. All right, that's right. Coop, it's from Monsters Inc. Adi Coop. Laney's dressing up as
Wazowski.
And then Kate is being the most ridiculous character in that. Like, I don't even know her name, but she's like the receptionist. That's like all grouchy.
She's the one who says, "Where's your paperwork, Wazowski?"
So, Adi Coop, maybe this Friday when you come by, we'll watch that movie for Halloween. It's a good one. I'm on Ross St. Brown.
And Coop's like, oh, great, right? Probably go the World Series game, probably going to be around on Friday night, but okay, fine. I'll watch Monsters.
It's for Laney. Jerry wants to know, I'm on Ross St. Brown. The answer is yes. Moondog, Marv, or Downs has to sit one. Sit Downs, right?
Yeah, you probably sit Downs in this matchup.
Yeah. Coker, Parker, or Tolbert are my top options to swap with Hopkins or Keenan Allen. Thoughts?
No, keep Hopkins and Allen.
Yeah, keep them. Mojo, what up, dude? Now's the day for lineup questions.
There we go. Mojo.
We scared him yesterday. But he's
I was a little
today.
disappointed that Mojo wasn't the first one in today, but okay, whatever.
He's doing his best. He's got Moon Boy. He's a Moony boy.
Tillman, Downs, Leggett,
Cedric
Hopkins,
Tillman, Downs, Leggett, Hopkins.
3. All right. Well, Mooney, Downs, D-Hop.
D-Hop. Yep. They say he's going to have a bigger role, so that's where I'm going. Stacked at wide receiver, and he has Jaden Daniels. Just a little bragging, no big deal. Should I trade Jalen Hurts and Brian Thomas for Jahmyr Gibbs? Single QB league, Jalen Hurts.
I mean, that's a big price to pay. Like, you're really helping out the other owner there. Like, really helping out the other owner.
But you're not going to get – it's like you can't really get – no one's going to give you Barkley or Brees or Kyron Williams. Like, those guys aren't – you can't get them. So Gibbs is kind of the best guy you can get. I think I might do it.
I mean, is that an offer that you're looking to make? Because if that's an offer you're looking to make, I would just like offer up Hurts straight up for Gibbs.
Yeah, people don't
Depending
do
on who
that.
that
I
person's
feel like
quarterback is.
Hurts has been great, but in single QB, people treat it's so hard to trade QBs in single QB. I think I might just do it. But hey, I would take that offer and offer it to everybody.
Well,
And
let me
see.
ask you. I mean, if you're sitting there with like Jared Goff or Sam Darnold or one of those guys at QB, or you have Jordan Love and now you're like worried about him right now, wouldn't you rather have Hurts on your roster?
Of course, but he's got Jaden Daniels already.
I'm not saying him. I'm saying the guy he's trading him to.
But he wouldn't give Gibbs for Hurts, though.
How do you know?
I mean, yeah, I mean, try it.
What if this dude's loaded up at running back? You know how many leagues I have where I'm like, it's 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a flex, right? And I've got like ridiculous running backs in so many of those leagues. The Beat Howard Bender leagues over at RT Sports. So, to be able to say, all right, well, let me just lock down Jalen Hurts here. Maybe I don't use Gibbs because I have now Barkley and Jonathan Taylor as my starting running backs.
I have Gibbs ranked ahead of Jonathan Taylor this week.
Well, that's this week. What about the rest of the season?
Probably Jonathan Taylor.
Okay, so
but maybe not. I think Gibbs is top 10 RB. Very good team. Catches a lot of passes. Does a lot of cool stuff.
I would offer a little bit less to start. If you want to go to, if he says no immediately and you say, well, what if I add Brian Thomas to the mix? Is that something you'd be interested in? Well, then at least then you're negotiating, but you're offering a top 5 quarterback who just is coming off of 3 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown, right? You're making a legitimate offer here. If they say no, then you add the sweetener.
Right. What I would do is take that same trade and offer it for Barkley, Kyron Williams, Bijan, Kenneth Walker. And if you can't get one of those guys, I would take this deal. That's how I would do it. But you're right. You shouldn't jump right to giving up so much if you can avoid it. But I think to trade for a running back, it's so hard that I think I would do it.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, and Sam Darnold. Who should I start this week? That is a very good question. And the answer is probably Kirk Cousins, but we like all those guys, right?
Yeah, and I would lean into either Stafford or Cousins. I think Cousins is in a really good spot here against Dallas, and the game total is 52, and it's only a 2.5 point game as far as like Atlanta being favored. So you do like that tells me, with as bad as Dallas has been, the fact that they're only a 2.5 point dog tells me that Vegas is expecting a big shootout, and Vegas is probably expecting Dallas to, cover this spread. And if that's the back and forth, then that means Cousins is chucking the football. But I mean, how do you not start Matt Stafford knowing that it's Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp out there?
Right. And I mean, Sam Darnold also gets the Colts. So it's almost like there's no wrong answers. It's just I think Kirk versus Dallas has got to be the guy.
Cousins seems a little bit more secure. Yeah.
Vegas is telling us that it's just it's such a popular team. There's like people are going to put money on them anyway, but Vegas is telling us that's going to be more of a game than we think it would be. Looking for 2 that you like for upside with my unique scoring. Well, without knowing the scoring, upside probably means a lot of yards and stuff, Howard. So Tillman, Coker, yeah, probably Tillman then with the bonuses.
Oh, see,
things getting spooky.
My dogs are getting all amped up about this question here, Rex. Look at you. All right, so 2 for upside here. It's probably going to be Tillman and Coker, right? I could do Tillman and Washington as well, but probably Tillman and Coker would be the excitement.
I think Coker's going to get a big run because they traded Deontay Johnson. They got nobody else. Would you safe to toss Kelsey in tight end spot? Yes, it is always safe to toss Kelsey in the tight end spot. A lot of people have him ranked tight end 1 around the industry this week. I think I have him tight end 2 behind Bowers, but he's a tier 1 operator. 2 flex spots, Metcalf in 1. What would the order be for these guys? Shakir, Dubs, Chuba, Elijah Moore, Hutch. I think I would just move Dubs ahead of Shakir, and then that would be my order.
Yep, 100%.
Got an offer, Neighbors and Hunt for Jacobs and Dell.
Whoa. Getting Neighbors and Hunt for Jacobs and Dell.
Dude, I would take Jacob. I would want to be on the Jacobs and Dell side 1,000%.
Probably.
Because Isaiah Pacheco's coming back. And Dell and Stephon Diggs is not coming back. You know?
Yeah.
Flacco for Flacco. Let's
move it along.
Good for all the assets. I'm disappointed because Anthony Richardson seems like a good guy. And the upside of his athleticism is fun. But got to do what you got to do. Gabe Davis or Josh Palmer?
Ooh, I don't know what Davis's shoulder situation is going to be like. I'd probably just like lean into Palmer. Here's the thing is that it sounds like the Chargers are looking to trade Joshua Palmer. So what better way to deal him than to, let him be featured a little bit more. Let Denzel Ward worry about Lad McConkey, tonk, badonkadonk, right?
Yeah, you got to give these guys looks if you want to move them. And this is what you see with teams, new organizations, new GMs, 1 or 2 years into their regime, or even just towards the end of the first year, they start cutting and moving guys that they're not going to use. How many guys?
I also hate Gabe Davis.
Yeah, I
know it's a strong word, but I'm not a Gabe
for Davis. Fantasy purposes. He just got moved. I think he actually seems like a really cool guy. Like he hangs out.
No, he doesn't.
He does actually. He wears the video game themed cleats. He hangs out with Shane Gillis, but he got to start catching the football. I was offered Mike Evans for Chubb in PPR. I feel this is a good trade. I think that is a fair trade. So it depends what's better for your roster.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, are you deep at running back that Chubb is like your third or your fourth guy who's definitely startable? Like, if that's the case, then yeah, it also depends on what your record looks like right now. Are you 2-6? Are you 3-5? Are you 4-4? Where, can you afford to stash Evans because he's not coming back at least until week 11?
Yeah.
They got a week 10 bye. So he's not coming back at least until for another 2.5 weeks.
Yep. And I'll tell you, real quick, we'll hit a couple of our must-start guys, and then we'll just rapid-fire questions for the rest of the show. Chubb, for me, is getting into that range where, like, I'm ranking him high RB3, back-end RB2, because he played 80% of the snaps, essentially. Like, he's becoming a guy that I'm just trying to find ways to get him in my lineup. Other guys that I really believe now they're in my circle of trust, if you will. Lad McConkey-tonk, badonkadonk was kind of on the fringe. Now he's in my lineups. And I did mention Sam Darnold. I know we rank Kirk and Stafford ahead, but Darnold still is right around top 10, top 12. Like for me, for pretty much everybody, he's got a good matchup. So it's a guy that now with Hawkinson back, I feel pretty good about it. What about you? Who are some must-start guys for you this week, Howard?
Must-starts. Listen, Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert are two guys who I absolutely – listen, Buffalo's run defense is not good, and that's just bottom line. I know that they shut down Kenneth Walker this past week. The weather was a nightmare there as well, but I think that the way Miami runs with the outside zone scheme, Mostert and Achane are going to be able to really pick up some extra yardage here in this one. And, and McDaniel wants to beat Buffalo. He wants to control the pace of this game. So I think both those guys are locked in for me. I'm locking down Rome Odunze this week.
Ooh.
Right? Rome Odunze, Bears are going up against Arizona. You're going to have Marvin Harrison Jr. getting all hype, and Jalen Johnson's going to be on him, and everybody's going to be focused on that battle. Well, if you look at DVOA numbers, coverage numbers for Arizona, they do struggle against that third wide receiver, and that is Rome Odunze, right? Once Keenan Allen came back, Odunze gets pushed to that third receiver role, and when they'll move Keenan Allen into the slot or maybe DJ Moore into the slot, you're still going to have Odunze on the outside. We've seen him ball out before. This is a game that I think that Odunze really shines bright. So if you have him in season long, depends on who your other options are, but get him into your lineups and your GPP lineups for DFS this week. I think this is going to be a big week for him to pop. And then finally, give me Dallas Goedert if he's healthy and playing. I know he's dealing with the hamstring issue right now, and we're not 100% sure, but the Jaguars are one of the absolute worst teams against the tight end. They rank in the bottom 3, I think, in DVOA, and they're giving up like the third or fourth most fantasy points per game to the tight end position. So I'll take a shot on Dallas Goedert coming back from injury.
Yeah, it's the safeties, man. They just struggle, and it's an easy way to rip off chunk plays over the middle to the tight end. So hopefully Goddard is healthy and good to go, man, because perfect matchup for him. All right, let's rapid fire here. Rex Timotheus wants to know: Walker, Mixon, Swift, and Dobbins starting. Good. White and Chubb on the bench. Would you swap anyone in?
Nope.
No, I wouldn't, because I still have Dobbins ahead of and Swift ahead of Chubb, just with the matchups for those guys.
And I hate Swift, but yeah, it's just it's a matchup.
Exactly. Yeah. Because Chubb's got the Chargers, and
Rapid
that's
fire.
not great.
Rapid fire.
Cousins or Murray?
I'm gonna take Murray for the rushing upside.
Better rest of season upside: Adam Thielen or Xavier Legette?
Xavier Legette. Adam Thielen could end up getting traded, and who knows where he lands.
There you go. Reed, Devonta Smith, Dell starting, Waddle on the bench. Flexes are filled with Swift and Dobbins. Thoughts there? Do you get Waddle in?
Again, I think with Sauce Gardner on Tank Dell, I think there's going to be a big problem on Thursday Night Football. So I'm going to put Waddle in over Dell.
Yeah. If Malik Willis is the starting quarterback, is Reed the odd man out?
I still think that I'd rather hope for a rushing touchdown from Jaden Reed than watch Tank Dell going up against the Jets secondary.
He's the most QB proof of the crew. He gets the screens, he gets the handoffs, he gets the khakis, he gets the girls. QB Cousins. Or Mayfield. Yep. Flex McConkadonk, Downs, Bigsby, Dubs, Tracy Jr. If Tracy clears concussion protocol, that is.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know if he does. I'd probably go with if it's a full point PPR, I'm using Dubs. But I mean, I do like Downs as well.
The tag on this thing just scared me. I thought I had a bug on me. It's got scared by my own scary costume. Coker, Washington, Mechie on the bench. Metcalf and Tillman are in. Swaps? Nah, leave it. Trade Brees for Tyreek and Brian Robinson Jr.
Ooh. That's a tough one. That's definitely a tough one. I mean, if
he did the trade. He traded Brees for Tyreek and Brian Robinson Jr. Do I trade Tyreek back?
Tyreek back straight up for Brees Hall?
I mean, yeah, if you can you just get Brian Robinson for free.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Tyreek does have a tough schedule. They have a crazy tough schedule. So the Chiefs and the Dolphins have
still Tyreek
schedules. Yeah. Tolbert, JSN, Bucky in a flex.
JSN.
One of them out. So
which one's out? Probably Bucky. I'm not going to use Bucky against the Chiefs' run defense.
Yep, agreed. Offered Tyreek Hill, Higgins, Pacheco for Amon-Ra and Kamara. Woo lad.
Well, I mean, considering I don't know what Pacheco is going to be like when he comes back from a broken leg, and T. Higgins is dealing with a quad injury, and he's been in and out with stuff. I'm gonna pass on this deal.
Yeah, take Amon-Ra and Kamara's side. Lamar, obvious. Yes, it is obvious. Dak, Kyler, or Bo Nix need two. I'm going Lamar and Kyler.
Yeah, me too. That's easy.
Leggett, Coleman, or Washington?
Swap Leggett for Coleman or Washington? I mean, I'd rather have Leggett than Washington, probably.
Right, but Keon Coleman, they're kind of cool lately.
Right, but he's not. He's swapping Leggett for either Coleman or Washington.
Yeah, so I think I'd put a Keon Coleman in. Leggett's going to face Marshawn Lattimore this week, and from Bryce Young throwing a Leggett with Marshawn Lattimore on him sounds pretty.
How many? We got to be more specific with the questions here, Rex. Like, I mean, how many are you starting? One of these.
He has Leggett. I think he has Leggett in, and then he wants to know if he should put Coleman or Washington.
If that's the case, then okay, then Coleman, yeah, for sure.
Drop Drake May for Winston, and then drop Trevor Lawrence for Flacco. I would like to have Drake May. I would keep Drake May, but I rank these guys rest of season, May, and then probably Winston now that Lawrence's wide receivers are all hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I go agree. May, Winston, Lawrence, Flacco.
Yeah, and I mean, again, if Flacco's, he might not even hold the job the rest of the way.
Right. Hutch, drop one of Hutch, Ford, or Juju. I know you can't see Greg, but I'm reading the question for him.
I appreciate. We see you shouldn't have told me that it was Greg, because now I'm not going to answer the question. Now it's all you.
Okay, I would drop At this stage, I would probably just drop Hutchinson because if you're not going to start him this week, then you don't need him.
Yeah.
JSN, Coker, Washington, or Mechie?
JSN.
Shmuley, what's up, dude? I have ETN and Bigsby. Are any of them startable if ETN plays? Yeah, ETN.
ETN is.
Yep. Birdie, what up? Half PPR, Bucky Irving or Mark Andrews in the flex?
Andrews.
Mark, he's finding pay dirt. Who do I start? One wide receiver out of these two. Reed Moore. DJ Moore against the.
Yeah, DJ Moore is the way to go here.
Yep. And then 2 flex out of Moore, Reed, Dobbins, Hopkins, Sutton.
Dobbins and Hopkins.
Mm-hmm. Lamar Walker, give up Xavier Worthy and Jonathan Brooks for Tony Pollard as a trade.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yep. Cooper misses this game or is projected to be limited. Should he be swapped for Cooper? Which Cooper? Is Cooper Kupp projected to miss a game? Is Amari Cooper projected?
I don't think Amari Cooper is banged up. I haven't seen anything there either.
But yes, if a guy's hurt, then I would put in Xavier Legette because we don't know Deontay Johnson, the level that he will play if he needs to learn the playbook.
Cooper does have he's got like a little wrist injury. He's not practicing on Wednesday. Okay. As a reminder to everybody, when you're looking at players who are listed with a questionable tag or something like that on ESPN or Yahoo or My Fantasy League or stuff like that, they automatically put, if a guy doesn't practice on a Wednesday, they automatically put that there. If like all of a sudden you're seeing that a guy doesn't practice on a Wednesday, nobody practices on a Wednesday. Right. Nobody does. Like that's just standard in the NFL. And it's been like that for years and years and years. You don't care about the injury report on a Wednesday. What you do care injury report wise on a Wednesday, what you care about is a guy who's been banged up that is suddenly back at practice on a Wednesday. That's something to look at. But when you're looking at a veteran player who is sitting out on Wednesday, don't worry about it. Don't panic. Don't even ask the question. Like, see what happens to him on practice on Thursday, and then you'll take a look at it.
Calvin Johnson, Megatron, didn't practice on a Wednesday for 5 straight years.
Dude, Julio Jones never practiced on a Wednesday in his entire career.
Yeah. So definitely don't worry about that until at least Friday's really the day. Because Friday is the day where if a guy is hurt, then they basically say, hey, you got to practice in full today if you're going to play. And then we find out if they're going to play or not. Yeah. Looking for 2 in the flex, Stevenson, Ridley, Coker, Tillman, or Engram.
Well, Engram for sure, right? I mean, he's going to be a target monster with all the receivers out. And then
Ramondre Stevenson played 80% of the snaps last week.
Yeah, 80. I would do that. And it's not a terrible matchup for him, right? Like Tennessee. Oh, it is a tough run D, but I'm still okay with that.
Jameis or Caleb? We got to fly here.
I'm going Caleb here.
Yeah. Flex spot, Tillman or Worthy?
Tillman.
Aaron Jones for McLaurin, a fair trade on either side?
It is a fair trade.
I think that's about exactly fair. Lost Godwin, have Pollard and Stevens as starting. Got offered Bigsby and Chubb. Chubb, and Metcalf for CMC.
I mean, Bigsby doesn't do a lot for me there, but Chubb and Metcalf for CMC does something for me there.
Right. Yeah.
See if you can get somebody
if you're desperate,
unless you have ETN. If you have ETN, then that's a fine deal. But if you don't have ETN, see if you can get something else other than Bigsby.
Yeah. Also, if you have 4 or more wins, I'd probably just wait for CMC and see if you can just be awesome. Lamar Walker. Okay, we did this one already.
Mm-hmm.
Who is RB2 right now? Gibson is over Hasty. Hasty didn't really even play last week. Gibson even got goal line carries. He got 5 carries. He's playing kind of limited snaps because he's a little banged up, but Gibson's definitely the guy. Crazy to send Mark Andrews for Adams if I have McBride already.
No, it's not crazy at all. I would if you can get Devontae Adams for Mark Andrews and you already have McBride, yes, do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of Taysom talk, Skinny. Tough show,
buddy.
Tough show in that regard. Are we playing Josh Allen against Miami? Yes.
Yes.
What about Amari given last game in the 4th best league? Nah, start him. Josh Allen, it doesn't matter who the wide receivers are for Josh Allen. Josh Allen was the QB1 essentially. He was a QB 2 before he had Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Full PPR, Downs, JSN, Coleman.
Downs.
Yep. Who's out of the lineup out of Aaron Jones, B-Rob, or Swifty?
Probably B-Rob.
I think it's B-Rob. Charlene, what up? Would you start Stroud or Caleb?
Caleb.
I like Caleb, and he's playing in the Dome against Arizona. Don't worry about last week. Guys have bad games. It happens. We did that trade already. Mayo Pie. Don't trade CMC. Been offered.
Who said that? Who said Mayo Pie?
Deep.
I don't even want to know. I'm sure I know who it is.
You do. Deep super flex PPR league. Nico and Whittington. So Nico and nothing for Dubs and Brian Thomas Jr. No, don't do that. What do you do with Jordan Whittington?
Nothing.
That's just Nico for Dubs and Brian Thomas Jr. Right? Don't do it. Don't do it. Joke. Yep, got you. I'm watching you, Wazowski.
always watching.
All right. London and Najee for Barkley and DJ Moore. Yes or no?
Give up London and Najee for Barkley and DJ Moore. Yes, I definitely would.
Yes, immediately.
100%.
Tracy is out. I'll just start Chuba.
And
Deontay, Hunter Henry, or Tolbert in tight end premium.
Oh, okay. Out of this trio here, I mean, I'd probably go with Hunter Henry.
Right, tight end premium. Lean into the format.
Yep.
Is this the worst running back waiver wire week you can remember? It's one of the worst. Yeah.
Well, last week wasn't too good either.
Not good. Need 2 out of Hunt, Hubbard, Olave, Dell, McLaurin, Stevenson, Chase Brown. Very similarly tiered players.
Hunt and McLaurin for me.
Yeah, Hunt and McLaurin. A lot of good players there, but got a flex 2. Waiting for Evans to get back. Hopkins, Tillman, McMillan, Hunter Henry, Chuba, or Tolbert. Hopkins is 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I would, in FFPC, it's either Tillman or Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I'd go Tillman.
Go with Tillman. Dalton Schultz, the best receiving option for the Texans? No, Tank Dell is. But Schultz is probably the second best. Flex Sutton or Tillman?
Sutton.
Bucky is green or on the goal line. Blah, blah, blah. Tucker Kraft or Dalton Schultz this week? Still Kraft, man.
Still Kraft.
Downs or JSN?
Downs.
Yeah. Greg is trying to appeal for a removal of his ban. Maybe by the end of the week.
Is that a start sit question? I don't know, because we're rapid firing and we got to get out of here, man. It's already time to go.
Mari Cooper practice today. Odd man out. Olave, Dell, Downs.
Dell.
Yeah. Best ball on call. Asking people to like and subscribe as always, dude. You rock. Thank you. Appreciate everyone that does like and subscribe. It costs you nothing and it really helps us out. Helps us buy Halloween costumes for Laney and helps Howard take the money that he would buy for his dog's costumes and spend it on candy. Would you start Downs and Coleman over Reed and Dell? Two of those 4 guys.
Downs over Dell, but Reed over Coleman.
All right, last question of the day. I got Reed, Sutton, and Jennings, Dobbins. Can I package any of those guys for a better wide receiver like DK or Mike Evans or something? I wouldn't trade Reed as part of that deal. I actually would just keep the players you have. Like Juwan Jennings could be awesome.
Yeah. Got
to consider that possibility. If those guys are all just on your bench, then maybe, but I wouldn't do the Reed one. I would consider maybe the Jennings Dobbins one, and I would aim for higher than 2 guys that are banged up right now. That's what I would do, Victor. All right, guys, that is it for us. We will be on SiriusXM tonight, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time, channel 87. Tomorrow, John and Pemba and Eric Romoff will be in here answering questions before the Thursday night game, 7 to 8 p.m. And then on Friday, I'll have a little guest on at 1 o'clock. As always, Sunday morning, we'll be rocking here, 11 to noon. We'll be on SiriusXM, 10 to 11. That's basically what we got for shows. Make sure you're set up with Fantasy Alarm. Is that promo code still active?
It's still active, man.
What are
I
they
just
doing?
checked it.
It's so funny because they said they wanted to take it down. And then you said, no, let's do it one more day on Monday for a Fryer move. And now
they forgot it. So take advantage of it. FantasyAlarm.com/year. Promo code year takes $50 right off of the annual subscription. It brings your monthly cost to Fantasy Alarm for all sports, betting, season long, and DFS to less than $20 a month. Why wouldn't you?